In this video, we're going to learn how to use the retail method in order to estimate the cost of our ending inventory. So this is just basically a really quick estimate just to make sure that the ending inventory amount that's in our books is the actual ending inventory. So we'll read through the question first, and then we'll get started on the problem. So it says that the records of Sudbury Menswear report the following data for the month of September. And then it gives us a laundry list of the sales, the purchases, and the inventory balances. Now in part A, it says, estimate the ending inventory using the retail inventory method. Round the cost to retail ratio to 2 decimal places. Part B says, assuming that a physical count of the inventory determined that the actual ending inventory at retail prices at the end of September was 42,000. Estimate the loss due to shrinkage and theft. And Part C is identify 4 reasons why the estimate of inventory may be different from the actual inventory at cost. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just transfer this data from the book into my Excel spreadsheet. And then that way, when I put together the retail method and the cost to retail ratio, it'll be easier for me. So this is the template that I'm going to use. And now I just need to pick the information out of the question. So we'll start with beginning inventory at cost, and it's 32,000. So I'll put that in here. The beginning inventory at retail is 48,500, so that's sales price. Now, obviously on our books, we keep inventory at cost. Remember, this is just an estimate. Now, I'm looking for any transfers in. So in the case, if you're actually making your product, you could have transferred in from a different inventory account. But in this case, there's none, so I'll just put 0 for that. Now we'll look at our purchases. So it says at cost is 59,500 and at sales price is 112,600. And I'm looking for sales returns or purchase returns, and it says purchase returns at cost is 2,500 and then purchase returns at sales price is 3,500. And there could also be allowances as well, but in this case, I don't see any purchase allowances, so I'll just put that as 0. Then I'm looking for my freight on purchases, and we do have that in this question, so that's 3,600. And now what we can do is add these up, and then we can find out what we have available for sale. And I actually need to put my purchase returns in as a negative. So that's going to decrease my actual purchases. So if I add up my beginning inventory plus my purchases, this is what I have available for sale, 92,600. And I'll do the same thing at retail. We'll add them up, and this is what I'll have available for sale at retail. Now we're going to look at our sales. And so now, because we're looking at our sales transactions, we don't actually do anything in the inventory account. So my markups are 10,500. And then my markup cancellations are 1,500. So I'll have that to decrease that because I want to have that to show net markups. Then my markdowns are 9,300. So markdowns are a decrease in your sales. And then markdown cancellations are 2,800. So I'll put that in as positive because then that will net out my markdowns as well. Now we'll do another subtotal here. So I have available for sale at cost in my inventory count of 92,600, and then I have my retail amounts at 160,100. Now this is where we're going to calculate the cost to retail ratio. So you can take your cost and then divide that by your retail. And I want to show that as a percentage and maybe to 2 decimal places. So my cost is 57.84% of my retail. Now if I subtract my net sales, so let's see what my sales are. My sales are 118,500. Then my ending inventory at retail is going to be 41,600. Now I just realized I think I made an error because my sales are 11850, but then my sales returns are 2,500. So my net sales are actually 116,000. So now to calculate my ending inventory at retail, you can do this. Go equals, take 44,100 and multiply that by 57.84%. So that gives me my ending inventory at cost at 25,507. So then that means that my cost of goods sold would actually be the difference. So then we would take the ending inventory minus what you have available for sale. So that's part A. Now in part B, what we're going to look at is we're doing a count and then we see that we have 42,000 estimate loss due to shrinkage and theft. So if my inventory count is 42,000, and again, if I want to see what it is at cost, I can take the 42,000 multiplied by the cost to retail ratio and then compare it to my ending inventory. So I'll just grab these numbers. So then what that is telling me is I actually have an inventory difference of at cost 1,215 and at retail 2,100. And we'll call this shrinkage. So the count says there should be 24,292 in inventory, and my record showed that I had more than that, 25,507. So that means that there's actually 1,215 missing. And so in part C, when you identify 4 reasons why the estimate of inventory may be different from the actual inventory at cost, there's a lot of different reasons. One, again, this is just an estimate. So when it's this close, I would say it doesn't look to be material enough for me to worry about my ending inventory on my books. But you could ask somebody else and they may think it might be material enough. But the first one is we're just comparing this to an estimate. The second one is somebody could have actually stolen amounts out of inventory. Another one is you could actually have amounts that aren't recorded in inventory but are in your warehouse. So there's lots of different reasons and you could come up with any 4 as long as it's logical.